Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video for Conan Exiles. Today in this video I'm going to be doing a guide on the Wine Cellar Dungeon. This is on the Testlive server, which is available only for PC. So anything and everything that you see here is liable to change when it does come out on console and the real versions of the game. So if you guys enjoy this video and find it useful and informative, please do not forget to support me on the channel by hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel, who knows, you might just enjoy them. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment from myself. The entrance to the dungeon is in Sepem. Here is my location. It is, I believe, 7B, if I'm not mistaken, is what I showed you. And this is the entrance into the dungeon. It is behind the tavern where Conan is. And right there between my head and my shoulder, that is where the exit to the dungeon will be once you have completed the dungeon. This dungeon is quite difficult on a few levels. The bosses do hit quite hard, so you do want to come prepared. And for this, I recommend bringing in some snake arrows and some healing arrows. You can also bring in a truncheon if you want to tame any thralls. And obviously you will need a torch. You will also get some of the Kahari steel and the fragments of power from it. You do also want to bring some stuff to cleanse corruption and maybe a Night Stalker mask or something similar that will allow you to have some form of night vision. I will be using the Silent Legion armor set, and it has got the third tier of the armor plating. In terms of weapons, I will be using the Doom two-handed hammer because it has a nice crit on it, so I will be relying on the critical hits, and it also does do good with a lot of NPCs around. In terms of the bosses, I will be using the Executioner Axe because it does have the execution ability, which means it will kill the boss instantly once it reaches 10% health. I will be using two bows. One of them will be the Reach of the Red Mother, I believe it's called. Reach of the Red Mother, I meant to say. And it will have the snake arrows. The other one will be a dragon bow, and it will have the healing arrows. Also bring some food and potions with you, and you will want some torches with you. I will be using a Relic Hunter Treasure Seeker. As you can see, those are its stats, and it does have the Doom Hammer as well. And in terms of armor, it does have the Godbreaker armor set. Now, this is good for the cold areas. However, on thralls, it does not affect them, and it does give them a good armor value, seeing as the thrall will do the tanking. So with that being said and done, let's get into the dungeon. This is the entrance of it, and over here we have the first boss, which has a very interesting name. It's Zeth the Drunk, and as you can see with the Doom Hammer, he does take damage like a champion. Now that's because of the crit, so both me and my thrall are using it. He does also have a chance of dropping the Truncheon of Seth, but he did not do so for me this time. Obviously now I will be using the Night Stalker's mask that gives us the night vision. It does make things easier to see in the game. Obviously, because I'm using a two-handed weapon, I cannot have a torch out, so hopefully this will be bright enough for you guys to see what the dungeon looks like. Now do bear in mind that, as I said at the beginning of the video, this is currently on Testlive, and so what you see here may change. Now, in the past, things have not changed very dramatically, but small details may end up changing, so maybe NPCs will hit harder or will be nerfed or stuff like that. But all in all, it will stay the same. I hope that the boss mechanics, for one, do not change, because I do like what they've done with this dungeon. It's definitely something that will challenge you, and I do like a good challenge in a game like Conan Exiles. Now, throughout the dungeon, there are loads of chests that you can look for. Some of them will have fragments of power in them. Others will have resources in them, such as gold and silver. So it's definitely worth having a look for them if you wish. Just, you know, be careful not to get lost. I mean, it's kind of pretty straightforward. It does look like a big maze at the beginning of it, but it's not really a maze. There are several paths that you can take, but they all lead to the same place. Now we get to the second mini boss, which is this one right here. You do want to take this one out because it will give you the Heart of a Hero, which does heal and remove corruption. You will need that because you will be gaining corruption throughout the dungeon, and you do want to cleanse that before the final boss fight. You don't want to go in with the handicap that corruption offers. So, very important thing to note. Also, notice that I am relying on my thrall to do the tanking. Obviously, that's because I am not very tanky, and because I am using a two-handed hammer and some of the mechanics have changed in the game, I can pretty much perform a single combo before I have to rest up to regain my stamina. Another very important thing to note. Now, obviously, you can go with whatever weapon you wish. I personally prefer the two-handed hammer, specifically the Doom two-handed hammer, because of the crits, so it does take things down a bit quicker. Now, I'm not sure how often the crit procs on this weapon, but it's good enough for me to actually deal with all of these little NPCs around here. Okay. Now, here comes the tricky bit, or the very first tricky part of the dungeon. You will have to jump that bridge. If you miss it, you die, probably lose all your stuff as well. So you don't want to miss it. Take your time here, because, yeah, if you come in with good stuff, you don't want to lose it. Now, the other problem is, as you can see, it is getting darker. As we go deeper into the dungeon, you do have these little torches that you can light up. It does act as a beacon as well as a form of light. Over here, we got some skeletons that will pop out, but obviously, don't forget, my thrall was on the other end. So, I did run past them to get my thrall to spawn behind me. And as you can see, the Wraith skeleton is applying some corruption damage to me. So do keep that in mind. I don't mind taking the corruption because I do have 2 Hearts of a Hero should I need them, so I can always heal up that corruption. Another thing you want to do is not make the same mistake that I did here and run out of stamina. I mean, these guys hit hard-ish, but it's not that bad. So when you have multiple patrols on you, that problems can arise. So keep that in mind. You don't want to aggro too many, and there are patrols around this dungeon that you have to look out for, specifically in the what I like to call these little city portions, because they look like abandoned or ruined cities. So there are some patrols. You don't want to get too many of them on you. As you can see in front of me, there is a Wraith. Now when I go and attack him, it will spawn 2 additional skeletons to him, next to him, and so I'm just going to charge at him and then start whacking away until he goes down. The skeletons don't do that much damage. The Wraiths do a bit more damage, plus apply corruption, so always focus on the Wraiths before anything else. Also, around there on that end right there, you will have a Serpent Man or Snake Man or Undead Snake Man, whatever they're called, patrolling from time to time, so try and time it so you don't have to fight too many things at once. Again, there's another Wraith in front of us. He will summon adds, so he's my main target. He only summons 2 adds when you first aggro him, but I want to focus on him because of the corruption damage. So I'm going to show you what they drop, and this is one of the things that is liable to change once the game is live. They may drop different things, but as it currently stands, they don't really drop anything specific. Here is the first boss, or mini boss, shall I say. Now, you need to be very careful with these guys. They hit like a freight train, and they hurt. So, I'm going to rely on my thrall to do the tanking. And one thing that I do like about this boss is it's got that well that makes the really weird moans. It adds to the creep factor of this dungeon. And obviously I will be using the Executioner Axe on the bosses to kill them off quicker. As for those that don't know, of course, once the boss gets to 10% of their HP, it just executes them regardless of how much HP they have. So yeah, those sounds that you hear, I really like that. It sounds amazing. Adds to the creep factor a lot. And this dungeon is quite creepy and I like it. It almost has this element of horror to it, which goes quite well with everything in this dungeon anyways. It's pretty nice. I like it. I like the mist as well. And the lighting effects. It's really well designed. I love it. So over here we'll have some more patrols. This is, as you can see, I've already just kind of did a bit of a Leroy Jenkins in that point. And so I've ended up aggroing 2 patrols on top of what I was trying to fight. This is where things can go wrong quite quickly. So I'm going to try and get rid of this Kappa because it's kind of doing my head in. They do hit quite hard, so be very careful and try not to get stuck like I am right here. The archers aren't that big a bother. They are annoying. You can't really dodge the arrows, which is annoying, you know. But they don't hit hard. The ones that hit the hardest are the Wraiths and the Kappas. They hit harder than the skeletons. So I can take the damage from, or I can soak up the damage from the normal skeletons. Okay, I was wondering what she was hitting. So kind of just show you what these guys drop. You can go straight ahead if you want, but I'm going to show you all of the bosses as a part of this dungeon guide. When I do the real one, when it does get launched on the official servers and stuff, I will avoid some of the bosses unless their loot table gets changed. But as it currently stands, the Kappa Boss over here is nothing special. I'm still going to show you how to deal with him. As you can see, we've got some more patrols right here. Again, nothing too difficult to deal with. You can use potions to take them out quicker should you want to. I don't know if you can apply it to the Doom Hammer though. So if you don't have the Doom Hammer, I would probably suggest using a potion to deal with these guys quicker, as you will be dealing with a lot of undead creatures from this point forth. So in front of me, right there to my left, there's a little cave, and that is where you will have the undead Kappa Boss. He does hit quite hard, so keep that in mind. I'm going to use the shield and the executioner axe. I'm going to try and kite him out of his little cave. I do want some room to move around. I don't know where my thrall's gone either, so it might possibly be stuck in something. So I'm just going to back out until I can bring him into an area where there's plenty of space to move around. The question is, where's my thrall? I'm going to just try and run around. Maybe I can get my thrall to spawn on top of him. This is a good area to fight him. There we go, there's my thrall. Wait for this boss to come up on top of me. There we go. That sorted that problem out. I'm just going to get behind him and start hacking away at him. Now obviously he's undead, so he won't take any bleed or poison damage. Whoop. Just be careful when he does swing around. You don't want to get hit by that. Oh, there's another one behind me. So I'll just fight this guy separate. Okay. Whoop. Knock back. So as I'm using this particular hammer, just keep an eye out on the damage it does. Sometimes it does a crazy amount of damage, like just there. So those 2 hits hit pretty hard. Those were crits, and they do help a lot, especially if you do have multiple targets that you're trying to hit. Now obviously the NPCs will move around, so it's sometimes hard to actually aim with this particular weapon just because of how it hits, but it does help for this dungeon quite a bit. Now I'm hoping that there is sufficient lighting in the recording so that you guys can see. This time around the boss just dropped a fragment of power for me. Sometimes he will drop the Kahari water skin. As it currently stands in the Testlive version, which is what I'm playing on. There isn't really any difference between the Kahari water skin and the normal water skin, apart from the fact that it weighs more than the normal water skin. Maybe things will change out. I hope they do. Otherwise, it's not really worth getting that water skin, to be fairly honest. Just because there's really no difference between the two. So I'm going to light these up. This is the next mini boss. I'm going to deal... Well, I wanted to deal with the ads first, but I ended up aggroing the boss. Unfortunately, this is going to be a bit difficult for me. Okay, so my thrall's got the boss. I'll deal with the ads. Be careful with the ads that have hammers and spears. They can stun lock you, as you can see here, which kind of sucks. And then there's also the element where you can get stuck on certain structures. There we go. I kept them busy long enough. Now it's time to take them out. I was also worried about getting too much corruption. I don't really want to be using the Heart of a Hero at this point. Now notice that my thrall has taken quite a bit of damage up to now, and we've only fought so far 2 of the mini bosses. 3, actually quite a few of the mini bosses, but the ones that hit the hardest are the undead mini bosses. The Kappa hits quite hard as well, but yeah, I'm trying to find out where this particular mini boss has gone. Now, according to something that I heard and read, apparently these mini bosses are meant to drop some sort of special weapons. I've not seen anything yet as it currently stands. That might be a thing that might change when it does go to the live servers. I don't know where this guy is. I mean, at the moment they only drop the Kahari Steel and the Fragments of Power. Not anything that I'm losing out on. But yeah, okay, well, let's go with the next mini boss. This one is really difficult. You really want to be careful for him. He does stagger and he does have ads. So I'm going to deal with these guys because I don't want to have them sneak up on me at any point. This is on the path to the next mini boss location. And I am going to be doing them just to show you his little arena, because he kind of has like a little arena. We'll light this up. Okay, nothing special there. Nothing. Oh, what are you hitting? Nothing. Okay. So do not over or underestimate this boss. This guy hurts really bad. Really, really bad. So what I want to do is I want to kite him around his arena and let my thrall pick him up. He does have a hammer, as you can see, and he can stagger, and just one hit, that's how much it hurts right there. Yeah, you don't want to be doing this with medium armor, or if you are, you don't want to get hit, because that's how bad it hurts. Obviously he has 2 archers, so healing is going to be a bit problematic, because once you get hit by one of these guys, it will cancel out the healing. So I'm not getting close to that guy until he's down. I can't afford to take another hit like that. And one thing I do like about another thing that I do like about the dungeon is the darkness. It does add to the difficulty. Now over here, sometimes you will get these little chests. Sometimes you'll get 2. Sometimes you'll get 1. Sometimes you'll get none. However, you do get Fragments of Power from them, so definitely worth picking them up. This time around I got 2. Now this one next to the torch, it's a bit difficult to access sometimes, but you can get it. I think the hitbox for the torch is a bit too big there. And then there's this little book right there that you can interact with. It's part of the lore. It's a lore book, but again, difficult to access due to the hitbox of the torch. So maybe they need to look at that. Hopefully that gets fixed. Apart from that, that is it. So let's go on to the final mini boss. Again, this guy is quite tough as well that we're going to be facing. It's more to do with the fact that you have very little room to move around, and if you don't know that he's there, he can get the jump on you, and it can complicate your life. So we're going to go back the way we came. So we're going to follow the torches that we lit. So they do act like a beacon, as you can see. It does help out. And this is where we fought the mini boss. I still can't see his corpse, which is a bit annoying. You can also go down that way to get to the little arena that we were in. But there's nothing left to do here apart from go forwards. Okay, so there's another skeleton wraith. So we'll deal with this guy. There's also, as you saw in my previous video, I was going to say undead spider, but it's a demon spider boss that you can kill. He doesn't do anything special. He's no different from the world boss that you kill for the legendary weapons. So the same rule of thumb applies with him. So over here is where the final mini boss, or final undead mini boss is. I'm going to try and get this guy. Okay, never mind. I was hoping to get the Wraith dealt with before the boss came out. Oh, see, that's why you don't want to get staggered right here. And you don't have... Oh, shoot, I just aggroed some more skeletons. Okay, so my thrall's pretty hurt, as you can see by this point. It's actually the first dungeon where my thrall has been hurt this bad. So that kind of shows you how much damage they need to take. So we've got a lot of stuff around here to fight. I'm going to start peppering some healing arrows. I'm going to step into that to heal myself as well. Okay. That could have been quite hairy. Ooh, I'm staggered. Hold on. There we go. Let's just deal with this guy. There we go. So, as you can see, my thrall's been hit quite bad. That's why you want to use these guys to tank the boss. Oh, there's another one. Alright. There's the boss right there. Pick these up. Not that I'm going to keep them. This is on the Testlive server after all. So that right there, what you saw, all that health bar that went down, that was a crit on the hammer. That's kind of why I recommend using this if you have it. If not, go and get it. It's definitely an amazing weapon as it currently stands. It does drain your stamina pretty quick, but after a combo, and I do mean a full combo, you will have to rest up. However, I do like the crits on it, and I think I personally would like to see more weapons with crit chances like this. It's something that the devs could definitely work on adding into the game. Now, don't be fooled into healing your corruption at this point. If you can manage with it, especially if you are going to be dealing with the demon spider boss. Now, if you do this, and when you do this for real, you have a chance of doing it or not, you can avoid the demon spider boss if you want to. For the purposes of this video, I will avoid it. When it does come out, if it gets changed and something different's here, I will cover that. If not, I'll probably most likely avoid it. But as this is the first run or guide for this dungeon, I will do it just to show you what to expect. So as you go deeper into this section right here, you have some little spiders that you'll have to fight. Nothing too difficult, nothing that you've not fought before. And deeper still, some more spiders. I'm going to try and go in slowly so I don't fight too many spiders at the same time, simply out of fear of accidentally aggroing the boss, which you can already start seeing in front of me. And yeah, so he's right there. I want to kite these guys away from the boss. Don't want to fight too many things at once. Oh, okay, he's aggroed. That's fine. There we go. That's sorted that out. There's one more to go. Now, with this boss, if you have not fought him in the world, he does that little cloud thing which applies corruption, and it applies quite a bit of corruption, so you don't want to be fighting this guy at a close range. You do, of course, want your thrall to tank it. The thrall does not have, or is not affected by the corruption. You can apply both bleed and poison to it. I'm going to go with poison arrows and let my thrall do the heavy lifting. Once you've killed him, you can harvest him and you will get a skeleton key. Obviously, with skeleton keys, you will have to be level 60 to use them. And behind him, where he was initially standing, there are 3 chests. The one in the middle is a legendary weapon chest. So with the legendary key that you got from him, you can access it, providing you are level 60. And I don't see how you're going to do this without being level 60. And you should find a random legendary weapon in there. Right, once he's finished with that, I will swap to the axe and go and just finish him off. There we go. So, as you can see, nothing in his inventory. I don't have anything to harvest him with, so maybe if you're going to do this boss, make sure you bring something that you can harvest him with. He does drop some good resources. I'll just get a star metal pick, and I'll put it somewhere. There we go. Let's harvest him for the key. There we go. Got the key. Where's the chests? Hold on a second. I'm slightly disoriented. There we go. Found them. First one drops random stuff. Second one is the chest that drops the legendary weapons. It vanishes, and there's another one halfway in the ground, which again drops some random stuff. Let's get rid of all the junk. We don't want it. And I'll put my shield back on. Hold on a second. I need to actually unequip my axe, or put it away actually. And so we can do that because we'll need the shield at some point. Or I might need the shield at some point, so I'd rather have it ready should I need it. I'm going to go towards the entrance, and the next boss that we will be fighting is the final boss of the dungeon. He has very new mechanics for this game. Not for MMOs, but it's something that I'm glad has been introduced into the game. It does add that added difficulty to bosses. I hope I see more stuff like this coming from this game. I do like the difficulty. So we're just gonna keep going up, and right in front of us is where the final boss is. As you can see, there is a little thing right there that as you walk through, it does have that sudden noise, that sudden music that plays to give you a bit of a jump scare. Nice touch to the dungeon. I do like that. Whoops, accidentally hit my thrall. I wish that, never mind. Kind of wish they didn't get knocked around so much. Kind of difficult to aim at. Up here we have some Serpent Men, or Snake Men, whatever these guys are called. This is one of them. There are 2 more that wander around this area. When they go into the quadrupedal stance, you want to be prepared because they will do a charge. That charge, if it hits you, will apply bleed, so just bear that in mind. Whoops. And there is one more. He's already aggro. I can hear the sounds for the aggro. So I don't really want to go into the boss arena without dealing with this guy. I don't want to be fighting too many things at once. Whoops. I did it again. And that's pretty much it for this portion. Next up is the boss arena. Before you go into it, make sure you remove any and all corruption. You do want to be fully healed. I mean, you can go into the arena as you can see, but you don't want to start the fight until you've been healed. So I'm just going to consume one of the Heart of a Hero. I'm going to heal up my thrall. And so I'll use this one up. Maybe stand in the cloud form, or from the healing arrow, get some healing from that. Everything's alright, so let's start up the fight. You do that by lighting up these fires, which I do like as a mechanic. It does give you time to prep for the fight. Once you start the fight, gates will close. There is a portal that, like a energy portal that will activate, which will not allow you out, so it does lock you in. Now, I'm not quite sure what's going on here because he should appear in front of me. Oh, there we go. Oops, wrong arrow. But I did aggro the thrall, so that's pretty good. Now, you can go and melee him in this first phase. There's nothing really too much to look out for. But once he gets to, I think, maybe 70-75% of HP, he will go into his second phase. At that point, kind of want to watch out. Not a big deal if you do get hit by the thing on the ground. It does not do too much damage to you. It's the next phases that you really want to look out for, because that's when it gets fun. So at first it doesn't hit that hard, but he does seem to hit a lot harder when he goes into the next phase. He has aggroed onto me, so I'm gonna just move around a bit. So at this point, okay, so it's more like, okay, I think that's kind of like 70%. So you want to avoid the glowy bits on the ground. Do not stand on them. This is what will happen if you do. It did hurt, but it is okay. From this point forth, you kind of really want to avoid them, because you will also have to deal with an army of Wraiths. So that's not going to be fun. Now, you can come with a weaker thrall in terms of HP, but do make sure that your thrall's HP is topped up, just because things can go wrong quite quickly in this dungeon. I did need to use up some water. I was running low on water, so I was getting dehydrated there. And this is where the fun begins right now. So you want to be on the move all the time once he starts banging on the ground. And here we go. Oh, I just walked into that one. Oh, I walked into that one as well. But there's a lot of undead skeletons behind me, so I'm going to need to heal up and heal my thrall as well. So I need to be very careful here. Now, you can try and fight these guys if you want to, but as you can see, my thrall is taking the boss down quite quickly. I don't think I have enough time to actually take out the ads before he summons in another batch. I don't want to get surrounded by too many ads. There we go. That's what I meant. I'm going to try and heal up. Luckily, there aren't any archers. If there were archers, that would have just complicated the situation a heck of a lot more. Oh, trying to avoid that and that. Oh, this is going to end badly, isn't it? Okay, time to go. Time to use some healing potions, maybe. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing now is I'm just going to be cutting the ads around. That was the end of it. Oh, that's a lot of bad stuff. It's a good thing I healed up, and as you can see, you can get staggered, and that is the problem with dealing with too many ads. And that's the end of this. Oh no, I thought he was dead. Never mind. He just teleported. Also avoid the blue thing on the ground. That will hurt you. I'm going to make sure my thrall's doing alright. And I can heal myself up as well. So my thrall... There we go. My thrall has dealt with the boss. He's down. And a few close calls. He's dropped some Kahari steel and a recipe. You will have to do this boss at least twice to get both recipes. So there are two recipes that you can learn. One will be for weapons, the other one will be for armor. The Wraith skeletons do drop items, as you can see. Some stuff can be used, like the alchemical base, which is quite expensive to make, so maybe you want to consider picking it up. Once the boss is dead, as you can see, the room lights up, and in his fourth phase it goes completely dark, as I showed in my previous video. That is it for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it and found it useful and informative. If you have, please do not forget to support me and the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. Also, don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. And of course, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment from myself. Until next time, stay safe, folks.